Okay, this is a sample example from your textbook about making a box and whisker plot and how to read them. And so if you look, we can read the problem together. It says the bridges, the Golden Gate Bridge shown above, which we don't see, is one of the world's longest suspension bridges. The lengths in meters of the world's 10 longest suspension bridges are listed below. Display the lengths in a box and whisker plot. So what they've done, if you look here, these are the lengths of the 10 bridges in meters. So one bridge is 1,280 meters. Another bridge is 1,298 meters. Okay? And so these are the different bridge lengths. Well, they're not in any sort of order. They're just data. And so the first thing that you need to do is you need to order the data. Okay? And so you're going to put it from lowest to highest. And if you remember your stem and leaf plot, stem and leaf plots can help you order your data really quickly and really fast into lowest to greatest. Okay, so you can use a stem and leaf plot, or you can just move your numbers around and put them from lowest to greatest, like they are here. Okay, now remember, some of the vocabulary words that we're going to use when we talk about when we talk about these box and whisker plots are a median. And so here's the word median. And median, another word, is average. And so what you do is you take all of the numbers and you add them up, and then you divide them by the numbers that however many there were. Now there's another way to do it. Remember when I showed you on the stem and leaf plot that you could find the median number? Well, you can do the same thing. So when you have your numbers listed from lowest to greatest, you can cross off the highest and the lowest, and the next highest and the next lowest, and so on until you get to the middle. Well, the median is going to be a number right in between these two numbers. So if you take those two numbers and add them up and then divide by 2, you have the middle number, which is what they have shown you right here. So that's how you determine the median. So if there was an actual middle number and you could cross these two off, you could take whatever the number is left. But when there's not an actual number like that, then you're going to take the two numbers that are left, add them together, and divide by 2. Okay, so that's the blue is how you find that average or median. Okay, now I'm going to erase some of my blue. Whoops. So I'm going to erase my writing, and I'm going to talk to you about these numbers again. Now, we have other vocabulary words that we have to deal with. So we have a lower half and an upper half. So as soon as you find that median, and you have a spot where it is, the middle, then you have what you call the upper half of your numbers. Okay? And you have a lower half of your numbers. Okay, and the range is what you would list. The lower half is from 1158 to 1377, and the upper half is from 1385 to 1991. Okay, now your lowest number, your smallest number, we call the lower extreme. And your highest number is what we call the upper extreme. So these are just vocabulary words that you have to remember, so that if they ask you, name the upper extreme, you can say, oh, that just means the biggest number. It's 1991. Okay? Now you have a lower quartile and a upper quartile, and all that means is the middle of the lower half. So lower quartile says take your lower half numbers and find the middle range. So you cross off your upper and lower, your upper and your lower, and this is the middle number, and so we call that the lower quartile. Now here's your upper half on the other side. And so if you take your upper half, you want to find the middle. So take the lowest and the highest, lowest and highest, and you're left with a middle number. That's your upper quartile, the middle of your upper half. Okay? And so if you didn't have one number left in the middle like that, and you actually had two numbers left, you would take the two numbers and you would divide by 2 again, just like you did for the median. But your upper quartile, almost always they give you as one number that is in the middle of everything. Okay, and now they create what they call a box and whisker plot based on these vocabulary words. And so if you take a look at this picture down here in this step 2, this funny shape right here, this is what we call our box and whisker plot. And so the box and whisker plot is read just by the dots. Okay? And so they have the number line up above it. And you can see that this middle dot is 1381. That middle dot represents your median. Okay? And we always put the dot and draw a line through it. And then the red dots and the red numbers, those are representing your lower and upper quartiles. The middle of your lower half and the middle of your upper half. And those are your red dots down here on this yellow box and whisker plot. And then, of course, your other dots are these black ones down here at the ends. And these are your extremes. Your upper extreme, which is your biggest number over here, and your lower extreme, which is your smaller number down here. And so the box and whisker plot is just showing those 5 key components. The median, which is this guy. Okay. The upper quartile, the lower quartile, the upper extreme, and the lower extreme. Okay? And so we have to be able to read these graphs. So that's the end of the video for tonight. Make sure you take notes on those vocabulary words and how it looks, and we're going to use them tomorrow in class.